when I was 8 years old, I said I'm going to be a star, if that gives you any indication. The problem my parents had.
Problem or not, it was stardom Anita Bryant was after, and it all fell into place. Beauty pageants, TV shows, hit records, and the famous Bob Hope Christmas tours. Anita Bryant made it as a singer, but became better known as a symbol. She represented patriotism, Christianity, and good family values. But Anita Bryant's mountain of achievements came tumbling down.
I've been on the mountaintop, and I've also been to hell.
She led the fight to have a gay rights law defeated in Florida. The controversy destroyed her singing career and her role in the orange juice commercials. Her personal life was also falling apart. She filed for divorce and broke up what was thought to be the perfect American family. That controversy put a stop to the lucrative church-related appearances she'd been doing for years. Anita Bryant, feeling totally abandoned, says she walked away in order to survive.
And so I just really kind of went into hiding, and I think that was, I needed that time for healing.
And survive she did, through faith and with new self-understanding.
I always wanted to be perfect. You know, I wanted to be the perfect performer, the perfect mother, the perfect wife, the perfect this and that. And I never felt that I made it. And I don't feel that way anymore. I guess I came to a place where knowing that God loved me, even when I was down and out and just couldn't do anything for him and nobody else liked me either, that it was okay, and that knowing that he loved me that way.
Anita Bryant, one of Oklahoma's own.
About me and you. Think of all the changes we've been through.
Anita Bryant has been through a lot of changes.
I'm so different now because I just don't have the same drive that I used to. It's all been, the stuffing's been knocked out of me in a lot of ways, but some people think that's good. And but I'm much happier with myself now.
That happiness has grown out of great pain, but the struggle has created new strengths.
We all are very human and very imperfect. And if we can just admit those failures and have the courage and the faith to get up and go on and to cope with life in our circumstances, I think that, well, I know that I am stronger, and my children are stronger too.
Anita continues to rely on her religious faith. That has not changed. But she does sing a different song when it comes to a woman's dependence within a marriage.
None of us have a guarantee that we're, you know, anything can happen. You just never know. And I think it's important that women feel good about themselves and that they know that they can handle anything if they have to.
In looking at Anita Bryant, you can't help but know she loves the spotlight still, but will never again be directed by it in the same way.
I really don't know, you know, what the future holds, but I'm very content with who I am and where I am, and I'm enjoying my children and just enjoying life to the fullest.
Anita Bryant, one of Oklahoma's own.
The horse industry is the third largest in the state. And when you talk about horses in Oklahoma, the name that comes up again and again is Walter Merrick.
He's a man accustomed to taking the reins. Merrick Merrick has led the way in making horses an important business product in Oklahoma. Like most horsemen, though, Merrick is a man of few words.
The horse business has been real good to us. We have been real fortunate to raise some good winners.
One of those winners is perhaps the best-known quarter horse in the country, EasyJet. He won a bundle at the track and is today considered by many as the finest sire in the quarter horse industry. EasyJet is just one of the reasons Merrick is a giant in the industry and the only horseman in the Oklahoma Hall of Fame. The 14-bar ranch fits Merrick. He named it that because at the time he had 14 head of cattle. His ranch is a far cry from that today, complete with its own track to raise and train future EasyJets.
Those are good prospects, both of them sure nice colts. We're very well pleased with them.
Walter Merrick knows what it takes for a winning horse.
First of all, you need good bone structure, correctness straight everywhere, and a big heart. A horse has to have a big heart and a desire to run. Of course, he has to have the breeding, the bloodlines, and then do the best job you can, train him, and hope for the best.
The best is no stranger to Walter Merrick, one of Oklahoma's own.
Come here. How about this?
He's a man reaching out, providing a hand up, not a handout. Doc Benson and Skyline Urban Ministry provide help to poor people in Oklahoma City. Not just help with clothes and food, but help out of the cycle of poverty and problems.
It has been said you can take people out of the gutter, but you can't take the gutter out of the people. But I know better. I know that the gospel of Jesus Christ changes people's lives and sets them on a new journey. And a lot of folks want to change. They just don't know how, and they don't believe there's any hope. That's what we're about, is giving hope to people.
The comfort thing is avoidance. Primarily, comfort is avoiding pain.
This is a fairly new program for Skyline Ministries, and one Doc Benson is especially proud of. It's an education employment class designed to regain the honor, dignity, and joy of work. It's for people who want it, not just those who need it.
If we get them in this education employment program, we feel that offers a good possibility to get them to change and to know that they can have hope and that they can live by a dream. And when that happens, then they are no longer satisfied with just assistance. They are excited about what they can do for themselves.
Doc Benson, one of Oklahoma's own.
If I still do, and my attitude about it, my love for it, has not changed.
It was that love of life that doctors say helped him through heart bypass surgery in March of 1985. His recovery was good, and Albert returned to McAllister. Carl Albert was a man of simple beginnings who wanted to be remembered for simple virtues.
I hope they'll remember that I'm somebody that tried, that I never cheated the government. I never tried to make money out of being a congressman. I hope they think I'm honest. They think that that I worked hard, that I did a pretty good job, that I had a good life.
Jim Loftis is not only interested in new designs and new buildings, he has a particular interest in history, especially Oklahoma's, like the Overholser Mansion in Oklahoma City.
Loftis was a key person in creating what is today a public museum, rich in Oklahoma heritage. Another old structure figures more in Jim Loftis' future. Loftis, Bell Downing and Partners bought this old church in 1979, turned the gymnasium into office space, and have other plans for the old sanctuary.
When we figured out that multifamily housing might work in here, that is returning a house of God to a house of man versus bulldozing the building, we decided we'd come down here and do this.
Designing buildings is something Jim Loftis has wanted to do since the 9th grade. His strong commitment to his community is something that he says just happened.
Saw a need and I thought somebody ought to fill it, and I jumped out and tried to do what I could. I would hope that when I got through here that we'd have a better quality of life, and that we would have a more optimistic viewpoint, and we would have in place the various elements that it takes to make a thriving, good community to raise our children.
Jim Loftis, one of Oklahoma's own.
Walk, dry off. See you in a little while. Excuse me.
Oklahoma is accustomed to seeing Cleta Deatherage in a leadership role as a young lawmaker from Norman, pushing for the Equal Rights Amendment, hammering out issues as head of the Appropriations Committee. Then last July, Cleta said she'd done all she could do in politics for now.
I've made jokes, what's a nice girl like me doing in a place like this, and I finally decided that wasn't funny. I decided that maybe there was some truth to that.
So Cleta's place has changed, and Democratic symbols like the donkey represent a whole new direction in her life. She's now married to Dale Mitchell, is general counsel to Citizens National Bank, and expecting her first baby any day.
I really consider it a blessing, and I think that it will make my life more full. Maybe I just want to sample a little bit of everything, but we're real excited about this.
It's clear that Cleta's political life is not over. In fact, her new family role increases her dedication to a better Oklahoma.
I think, well, what are we doing in Oklahoma to ensure that we have public schools that are good and can provide a good educational base, and public universities that will attract and keep my child's interest and make my child want to stay in Oklahoma. These things really start to take on new meaning when it's your own.
Cleta Deatherage Mitchell, one of Oklahoma's own. This historic old house in Guthrie probably catches the eye of many a motorist passing by. But it has an added significance for Oklahoma artist Greg Burns.
A lot of times I'll go to some place and we'll look at a historically significant house, and maybe the one next door to it, the one across the street, to me looks a lot more interesting, and that's the one I want to do a picture of.
Interesting pictures by Greg Burns are well known in Oklahoma, but he's also recognized and admired for his courage and sheer determination in overcoming physical handicaps. Greg is not comfortable being a hero because of his success. He's just grateful.
The people here in Oklahoma City are tremendous appreciators, and when somebody buys a picture, that's the highest form of flattery as far as I'm concerned. And you notice all the capitals are off the columns on the top up there.
The next step for this work is adding color with brush in mouth instead of hand. Finding effective ways to do ordinary things is a lifelong challenge for Greg.
There's been so many things that I thought I couldn't do, I finally kind of gave up on. And it's neat. You finally say, oh, I can't do that, and you sit back and you relax and you realize that you can't do it. And then all of a sudden, you think of some way that you hadn't thought of before. And then you try it, and it works. I think, especially for handicapped people, it's real important to be as mobile as possible and to be able to do as much as you can yourself.
Greg Burns is an example of that, a successful, self-sufficient artist who enjoys living in Oklahoma.
I love Oklahoma. It's a nurturing place to be.
Greg Burns, one of Oklahoma's own.